Hi friends, and welcome back to another video. So, my Q2 TBR, I've gotten pretty behind, I would say, and I've also kind of changed my, what I want to read for the most part. So, I thought I would get on here and let you know the books I plan to read moving forward from June, July, August, and September. So I'm catching the back end of Q2 and going through all of Q3. Now, some of these that are in June, I'll probably start in May, but we're already halfway through May, so I'm not going to say I'm gonna read any of those. So any additional time that I can give myself to read, I plan to do it, especially since I have another big book that I plan to read this summer. So definitely plan to get that done, and that's probably gonna take me a little bit, and we will discuss it in this video. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first book I plan to read in June is none other than the final book in Lauren Roberts' Powerless series, Fearless. And oh my gosh, guys, you cannot see how happy I am. Well, I mean, I guess you can see how happy I am, but when I got the book, you have no idea. When I took it out and I saw how thick it was, I was like, yes, that is what I want, because the first book left me majorly unwell. The second book was absolutely fantastic, but I needed more, and it was short. And I was like, Lauren, I need more of Kai and Peyton. I need it. Well, I would say that she's delivered. So I am super excited to finish this. Granted, I'm also going to be sad as can be, because the angst and the yearning and there's a happy moment and then she rips it out from underneath you, just the tragedy of it. I just want them to have a happy ending. So we'll see. I really hope that's the case, but you never know. So yeah, Fearless will be on my June TBR for the first book I plan to read. The next book I plan to read is Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli, and I apologize if I pronounced your last name wrong. I believe this is a duology. I believe I've heard that. I could be completely wrong, but this is the second book in the Crimson Moth series. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the author took this book, especially since what happened at the ending and everything like that. So I really am excited to get back with these characters and see if the author decides to give them a happy ending or not. Then I plan on reading just some plain romance. Sometimes I like to take a break from the fantasy romance and just read regular romance, and Allie Hazelwood obviously is my girl, so I plan on reading her newest novel, Deep End. I'm super excited to read this one. I love reading any Allie Hazelwood books, so this one high up on my priority list, especially, I mean, look at the beautiful sprayed edges. It looks like a pool. Granted, that is because this book follows two high-level competitive swimmers, and they're trying to both get on the US Olympic team, I believe. But then, they decide to have a fling, and we'll see kind of where that goes. But yeah, just to break up a little bit of the fantasy romance that I'm reading this month, I plan on reading just regular romance. Give me all the romance. That is right now where my mood is. I just want all of it. So that is what I plan to read. Then the next one is a most anticipated book of this year. It came out in March. Yes, it is the middle of May, and I will not be reading it until probably June, but I've just had other things I needed to read. But let me tell you guys, I am all here for when I start The Rag Picker King by Cassandra Clare. I have heard fantastic things about this book. People are saying that they liked it better than the first one. There's more political scheming. There's more angst. Like, I need this in my life. And I'm not going to take off the dust jacket, but there is a picture on the hardcover, and I need to know what that means. If you know, you know, and I know what the picture looks like, but I need to know what it means, like, badly. So, this will be read in June. No ifs, ands, or buts, because I need Cassandra Clare in my life. Granted, is she going to rip my heart into pieces? Probably, because that is her specialty. But I am here for it, okay? All here for it. Then the last book I plan to read in June is a epic fantasy book. And I've been needing to read this for a long time now, and that is Jade City by Fonda Lee. So, plan to get this done this summer, her series. So I do plan to read this in June, and I am super excited. Now, I do have an honorable mention for June/July, because I have like a hold, or I'm in line for the ebook of this, just because I'm gonna need the ebook to read if I'm out and about or going somewhere, because I'd rather read it on my Kindle than take the big book with me. And that is none other than Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. This is the third book in the Stormlight Archives. I have me reading it through June and July just because it is massive. Like, this book, guys, is 1,235 pages. So it's bigger than the last one. And I mean, I can take this with me everywhere, but I also don't want to damage it. So I'm waiting for the book off of Libby that I have like a place to hold for. I'm in line. So as soon as that happens, I'm going to start reading this. Granted, I did get it like a couple weeks ago, but I went ahead and pushed it because I wasn't ready to read it yet. But when it comes this time, I plan to go ahead and get it, and I'm going to start reading it. So that's why this is an honorable mention for June/July, just because I will be reading it throughout. I'm not going to do what I did the last time and just read this because it took up 2 weeks of my time, just to read this big book. And I'd like to read some other books. So if I could read 50 or 100 pages a day, depending on whatever, then yes, it'll be slow going, but I'll get it done and I'll get some other books done as well. So the next stack I have is for July. So the first book I plan to read in July is a new release that just came out last week, I think it was. And that is Shield of Sparrows by Davini Perry. Guys, this book is gorgeous. I mean, look. Those sprayed edges are amazing. And the cover, just, I cannot. And, oh, I didn't see that. Look. Oh, I'm so excited. This is supposed to be a romantasy book. It's got everything. It's got monsters, it's got princesses, it's got, I just don't know. I am gonna read the synopsis for you since this is new. And not sure if you guys have heard of it yet or not. So, here's the synopsis. Long ago, the gods unleashed monsters upon the 5 kingdoms of Kalandra to remind us that humans are insignificant, that we must pray to the gods for mercy throughout our fragile, fleeting lives. I didn't need a deity to remind me I was powerless. Being a princess had never been more than a performance. 23 years of empty titles and hollow traditions. My sister revels in the spectacle, basking in the attention and flawlessly playing her part. I was never asked to be part of the charade. Until the day an infamous monster hunter sailed to our shores. The day a prince walked into my father's throne room and ruined my life. The day I married a stranger, signed a magical treaty in blood, and set off across the continent to the most treacherous kingdom in all the realm. That was the day I learned that not all myths are make-believe, that lies and legends are often the same, and that the only way to kill the monsters we fear was to become one. Like, this moved up my TBR so high, it's not even funny. Partly because of the cover, but also because I read that synopsis and I said, yes. Just yes. So, this will be the first book I plan to read in July. The next book is the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle by Tracy Deonn, and that is Oathbound. I am super excited to read this. It has been a couple years since her last book came out. Granted, I still remember what happens, and I'm sure she'll give us a little bit of a recap. At least I hope she'll give us a little bit of a recap. But this thing is a lot bigger than the last one. I'm pretty sure, at least it looks like that. But this is a fantastic YA fantasy series with love interests and all kinds of stuff. And Tracy Deonn just does a fantastic job with this. This is kind of like a new take on the King Arthur legend, and she does a fantastic job with it. It takes place in the modern day. I mean, this series is fantastic and I absolutely love it. So I definitely plan to read this in July. I gotta get it done because I need to know what happens. And I'm gonna take a break again, guys, and go back to regular romance. This is Funny Story by the Queen herself, Emily Henry. Her and Allie Hazelwood, I absolutely love to read, and Emily Henry does a fantastic job with all of her books. I have loved every single book I have read by her so far. Just the dynamic of the characters, the growth of all the characters, the different relationships that she has with the different romance tropes and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's just absolutely fantastic. And I am super excited to read Funny Story. This one came out last year. She does have a new one that came out this year, but I'm probably going to read that probably like later this fall or something like that. But gotta throw in some Emily Henry. Next, I plan to read The Ashfire King by Chelsea Abdullah. This has been long awaited. I mean, I think we've been waiting 3 years for this book, if not longer. Because I mean, the first book was phenomenal. Absolutely loved the first book. And since the ending, I've been like, I need to know what's next. Well, finally, this has come out. The second book has come out. I don't know if it's a duology or if it's a trilogy. I guess I'll find out at the end when I read it. But I have to know what's going on, because if I wait any longer, I'm going to have to read the first book again, which granted wouldn't be the end of the world because I really enjoyed that book. But I'm so glad that she finally came out with the second one, and it is on my July TBR. And the last book I plan to read in July is the second book in the Jade City series, and that is Jade War by Fonda Lee. That's my goal, guys, is to read one of Fonda Lee's books a month until I get it done, and there's 3, so obviously you know what you're gonna see in the next stack, but yeah, I need to read this. I need to get it done, and I'm excited. So for August, I've tried to do a little bit like less on, we went 5 books each month just to start. And if I do good, I do good. And if some get pushed up, I get pushed over, like that kind of thing, but it's fine. But I do have a little bit less romantasy in this stack. Partly because there's things that I need to get done and I need to read. So the first one is the final book in the God Killer series, and that is Faithbreaker by Hannah Craner. The second book was a little lull for me. So I'm really hoping the third one reels me in right away, because the second one didn't, and I don't know why. It might have been that I took too long in between the first book and the second book to read it, and because I didn't remember, for some reason I didn't remember some things, so it took me a little bit to remember it as I was trying to read the book. So maybe that's why. So I've decided that I need to read this year and not have a big lapse in between like I did the first book and the second book. So this one's getting done in August. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm finishing this series. The next book, I saw this off of LitJoy, and I read the synopsis of it, and I said, okay, I will buy their edition of it. And I'm excited because it's a romantasy and it's got dragons. And it is called A Language of Dragons by S.F. Williamson. I mean, this is gorgeous. And wait till you see. I love this cover so much. And it's got a beautiful, it's a dragon. I mean, yes, this is, I don't know. I am in love with this. And then, of course, we've got that end page. And yeah, I'm super excited to read this. Oh, is it signed? Oh, it is. It's signed. That makes me happy. And this is really good paper, by the way. But yes, it is a YA, I believe, but I don't have any issues with YA. Love YA. But yes, I'm super excited to read this book. Not just because of the cover, but the synopsis really reeled me in, and that was why I decided to buy it. So I will read you the synopsis real quick. London, 1923. Dragons soar through the skies and protests erupt on the streets, but Vivian Featherswallow isn't worried. She's going to follow the rules, get a summer internship studying dragon languages, be smart, be sweet, and make sure her little sister never, ever has to risk growing up third class. She just has to free one dragon. By midnight, Viv has started a civil war. With her parents and cousin arrested and her sister missing, Viv is brought to Betchletki, I really butchered that name, Park as a code breaker. If she succeeds, she and her family can all go home again. If she doesn't, they'll all die. As Viv begins to discover the secrets of a hidden dragon language, she realizes that the fragile peace treaty that holds human and dragon societies together is corrupt, and the dangerous work Viv is doing could be the thread that unravels it. I know it doesn't say anything about a romance, but there's definitely going to be a romance in here. I just can tell, especially with that back picture. So I'm excited. I just love dragons, and I'm intrigued to see how this author, does. The next book I plan to read is the second book in the saga of the Unfated, and that is A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. And first off, and I really wish I would have gotten the main one that was published instead of the book of the month one, because now I don't have the one with the sprayed edges, but it's okay. I really enjoyed the first one, so I'm excited to see where Danielle L. Jensen went with the second one. And yeah, give me the Norse mythology and let's, see what's going on. Granted, I don't know if this is a duology or if there's going to be another one, but I'm really excited to get back into this world and see what Freyra is getting up to. I also plan to finish the Jade City series in August, and that will be with Jade Legacy. This one is the biggest one of the three. So I really hope I can finish it, because granted, I don't have some big books to read in August except for this one and then the next one I'm going to talk about. But I'm really excited, like I said before, to finish this series, to read this series this summer. It's gonna be a fantastic time. Then the next series I plan to start in August is Mark Lawrence's The Book That Wouldn't Burn. This one is the biggest one out of his 3 books in this trilogy. So I might as well just get it done in August when it's gonna be super hot outside, and I can sit either outside in the morning and read, or outside at night and read, or just inside all day. So we'll see. But I've heard fantastic things about this, and I really want to start it and see if I like it. And the last stack I have is my September TBR. So first, I'll just go ahead and talk to you about the 2 books, and that is Mark Lawrence's other 2 books in his series, The Book That Broke the World and The Book That Held Her Heart. So here's both of those. And as you can see, they are a lot smaller than the first one, so should get these done fairly quickly. And I'm I'm just excited to read. Anyway, guys, you know that I love reading. I will devour all the stories. So these are first up on my TBR. I don't know if I'll read them back to back, or if I'll read one of my other books that I plan to read in September in between. We'll just see how well the cliffhanger at the end is, to then push me into the third and final one. So we'll see. Next, I plan to pick up An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. I have heard great things about this. And I've also heard it's a little disturbing just because it's dark. It's a dark academia book. So I don't think there's anything in here that I wouldn't be able to handle. I guess we'll find out. But I've heard a lot of people really like this. And you know, September is kind of getting into that fall vibe, so might as well bring in some dark academia. Then I plan to get back into Mistborn. So the first book I plan to read is Mistborn Era 2, The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. This one is super short. It is literally 325 pages. Probably one of the shortest books I've read by Brandon Sanderson. I would have to say. So this is like, oh, that's cool. But this is Era 2 of Mistborn. So I'm really intrigued, and it's kind of like a gunslinger western style fantasy mashup kind of thing that he's done. I don't know how far in the future this is set, like how far after Mistborn Era 1 is to this one. I'm sure it will tell us. But yes, I plan to start Era 2, if not continue on with Era 2 in September. It all depends on how quickly I can get through all my books, but definitely reading The Alloy of Law. And then I know you guys are like, where's your romantasy? What's been going on? Well, I have one. We're going to read Caraval. We're going to start the series. I'm super excited. I have some friends that have already read this, and then have already read, it's the series you're supposed to read after this. My friend said that you don't have to read this first, but she recommends reading it first because you'll understand a little bit more of what the second series is, because I guess there's like drop-ins and things that come back to Caraval or whatever. So I plan to read the Caraval series, but starting with Caraval in September. Like I said with Alloy of Law, we'll see how quickly I can get through all my books. Maybe I will start the second one as well in September. We'll just see. Well, there you have it, everyone. That is my new and improved TBR. Let's hope that I can stick with it this time and I don't get another mood change / can't keep up kind of thing. Which, granted, there are some other books that I have like on my Kindle that I might read that I haven't thrown in here, and I'll do reviews or whatever on those, but just wanted to focus on my physical copies that I have, because I do prefer to read that way with a physical book instead of on my Kindle. But the Kindle is nice, don't get me wrong, that's why I have it, but definitely prefer holding the physical book. But let me know how often you guys change your TBR lineup, or if you even have like a lineup that you go by, or if you're just kind of like a mood reader. You get done with a book and you go through your shelves and pick one that really strikes your fancy and you're like, I'll read that one this time. Or if you follow a list, let me know. I would absolutely love to know and would love to talk about it. But don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh, here we go.